Welcome, coaches, to the Coaching Magic Podcast, where we reveal, discover, and create the insights, tools, and aha moments that make your coaching seem, well, magical. I'm your host, Jill Young, and I invite you to listen up, giddy up, and buckle up as we play with this creative profession of coaching that helps humans become their best, including you. In today's episode, I'm chatting with and playing with and creating with Mike Kotsis. Mike Kotsis is one of my coaches, so this is a unique episode also. But when I looked back and really reflected on this episode, there was a thread through the whole episode around space. Around space, physical space, we talk a little bit about that. Energetic space, we unfold the possibility of blessing the space, and also the space that it takes for a human being to just loosen up a little bit and do their own unfolding on their own. So I hope you enjoy this episode. I invite you to sit back and relax maybe and just kind of ease into this one. I can anticipate that you'll probably really find Mike's energy quite lovely. Enjoy. Yay! Hello, Mike Kotsis. Yay!
Hello, Jill.
I'm so excited to see you today. And when you popped in the frame, I was most excited because you're wearing one of your favorite fun t-shirts. So tell us about your fun t-shirt, and then I also wore my fun t-shirt for you today. So what is this fun t-shirt all about? Reveal to us some magic of Mike Kotsis.
Awesome. I can't wait to see what yours is. So mine is just recently had this one made. It's masterpiece. I'm a masterpiece and always under construction.
Yes.
This is my life.
And still evolving. I love it. Okay, here's the one I wore for you. I have to hold it up a little bit. Soul space.
Oh, nice. The space between the tree and the roots.
Yeah. Oh, look at you. You see beyond the words always. The space between the tree and the roots, the leaves and the branches and the roots. Always. How are you under construction these days, Mike Kotsis?
Always under construction. It's anytime that I'm second guessing, anytime that I'm stuck, anytime that I get up here, and for those that can't see, up in my head, trying to think about things. That's where I'm under construction, and it's slowing down. For me, it's slowing down. It's like even just before this interview, like my mind was like, what can we talk about? We could talk about this, could talk about this. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for a walk.
Beautiful.
And just went for a walk and let happens what happens.
That's right. That's where the magic happens, is when we just let things settle from here into here. Mike, you have been my coach, and I am so appreciative of you coaching me. And I have experienced this with you. What you just said in words, I have experienced with you. I recall several times where I would ask you the question, why am I still dealing with this? Why is this still coming around again? This thing coming around again and again. And it's, because we're always under construction. We're always under construction. Just letting those things come in, everything being allowed in the space, and seeing what this thing coming up has to offer us as a gift. That's what I recall of my experience with you, for sure. So thank you for wearing the t-shirt to tie it all back together.
You're welcome. It's beautiful.
You didn't even know you were going to do that.
I didn't know I was going to do that. And Jill, I acknowledge you for the amount of growth and aliveness that you have, that you're not that you ever did try to put up an aura or, showing up in a certain way. You're just so raw, so genuine, so authentic, so okay with the construction in the midst of anything that happens. And it's just you're so welcoming to that, and I love how welcoming that just embraces the humanness that we are. And you're already brilliant, like we already know that, like you're already brilliant, and you just allow that to come through in a way that's so relatable and connectable. We'll make up a word.
Like we making up words. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Connectable. Well, thank you. I received that. Thank you. And you helped me connect it. You helped me connect all of it. So I do want to get into some pretty cool stuff. But you know what? Before I do that, I have to reflect, because this is so much fun and you use the word authentic. I have to reflect both for you and I, because it's fun to go back to this, and for the people listening. Mike Kotsis, everybody, he is my coach, which is fun. Yay! And Mike Kotsis and I met maybe 10, 11 years ago. Now, of course, I met Mike Kotsis. Hello, I'm Jill. I'm Mike. We shake hands. We maybe share a hug. I know him. But here's the first time when I really, really knew him. We were at a training together, and there was a break. So I'm telling this story. Mike Kotsis.
All
There was a
right.
break. There was a break in, but it was like a 3 or 4 hour break. So we could really go explore, just be. And a group of us decided to ride bikes. So on our way, and Mike and I were both in that group, on our way down to ride bikes, I felt the urge to skip. And so here's a bunch of adults walking down this pathway, and I'm skipping. And I'm skipping up, and here's Mike on my left. I still remember, here's Mike on my left, and I thought, I wonder if I grabbed his hand and said, like, let's skip. I wonder if he would skip with me. And he did. He did. And that's, Mike, where I fell in love with you. I'm like, yes, there's a person on this planet who will skip with me as an adult. I'm just wondering what your reflection of that experience was, maybe back then, and maybe how you see it now, and if it's changed.
Yeah, thank you. That's such a fun memory. That's by the Detroit riverfront.
That's right.
We're a group with the rest of our friends and colleagues.
That's right.
Yeah, my reflection at that time, I was like, all right, let's go with this. I couldn't remember the last time I skipped before that. I must have been in elementary school, and then it was incredibly awkward at that time when I did it. So figured, what the heck? Let's just do it. And it was yeah, it was fun. It was just, didn't really care what anybody else thought, and just went with it at the time. And now looking back on it, uh, that was a great, well, we'll go with connectable. That was a
Yeah.
great connectable point, given the weekend and the time that we were there with Steve Chandler at that time, and the way that he helps to create that human connection at the core. That was so fitting. Looking back at that, we couldn't have planned that, and if we did, it wouldn't have been as beautiful as it turned out to be.
Thank you for that reflection, tying it to Steve Chandler, which he's been my coach, he's been your coach. We share a lot of the same coaching DNA, I guess, because I like to call myself coaching babies. I was a coaching baby then, and maybe now I'm just a toddler. Who knows? Who knows where I am right now? But where we had that same common shared history, I guess. Thank you for tying that in. And these coaching moments also are magical. And we as coaches can't always plan for them. In fact, like you mentioned, if we did plan, if I said, hey, Mike, meet me at 4:42, and let's hold hands and skip. Number one, we'd both go, what the, where, what, why? But in the moment, it flows. And this happens in coaching. And I want to get your perspective. It's why I know you love to use the word miracles. You'll say to me, Jill, are you ready for a miracle to occur? Are you open for a miracle? Are you ready to create a miracle? And those words are so yummy, delicious to my soul space. And I'm wondering if you can reveal to us maybe where your hunch is even as to why coaching creates miracles, why coaching is so magical. What's your hunch these days?
Great question. Uh, my hunch is where it comes from is that uh, coaching doesn't know, is okay with not knowing what the outcome is going to be. And coaching is dropping down for me from having the plan, having it figured out, having the outcome already pre-decided, and letting go of it. And letting go of it to see what occurs in this moment when we both just soften into our hearts and into our breath. It allows new ideas and perspectives to come up, right? And it can be curious. It can be curious, and we can have a conversation around something without a plan and just be in there and deeply connected in that conversation. In the miracle that comes up is a new possibility, is a different perspective than I saw before the conversation started. And that can't be pre-scripted. And so for me, it's that hunch is having a partner in a coaching environment where you can hold unconditional loving space. And unconditional loving space is that we're not creating conditions for it to do something. We're creating the unconditional loving space as an environment for something to grow.
Wow. What beautiful words you just put to something that feels wordless and feels experiential. Um, it reminds me of this phrase I used to use, or I think a lot of teenagers used to use, is you had to be there. Well, you had to be there. We'd tell a joke and it's like, well, you had to be there if it wasn't funny. But when you just explained that to me, I went right back in the feeling of what it really feels like for that to happen. And I get the hunch of, like, for our human brains, when we've dropped into our heart, we've felt through the breath, we've experienced through the breath, and we experience this miracle, that then we go back and we say, why did this work right here? And we put words to it. And it occurs to me that it's possibly because our brain wasn't expecting it. It didn't plan for this to occur. It feels like, whoa, it's a surprise. It's a surprise. And that's where, the humans will say, oh, this was a miracle. This was magic. It feels like it just occurred out of nowhere, because it did. It did.
Yeah.
We weren't attached to the outcome. One of our elements of coaching magic is stay unattached to the outcome. That's right where you're going.
I love
Another
it.
one is create space. So I'd love to go into, Mike, your process for coaching, and this is my experience of being coached in your space with your unconditional love. Thank you. Part of how I experience your coaching is a big part of that is your space. And that one of our elements of coaching magic is create space. And that word create is so powerful in your coaching as well. Can you talk to us, share with us about like where that came from, why it's so important to your process? Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just the way you coach me, that the space is it's such a great ingredient in your coaching magic.
Sure. It's a beautiful question and reflection at the same time, Jill. There's two different kinds of space that surface for me that in your question. One is the physical space or the environment that we're in, and then the other is the inner space within me and within you. And so the physical space that is important to me in creating a sacred connection in our coaching sessions is being very intentional with having a space that feels relaxed, that feels open, that has this sense of ease, and that has been blessed. And so before my coaching sessions, I bless my space. My space is in my home. I bless my home. I bless the environment. I bless the energy of the chair that you sit in to allow whatever needs to come out for the highest and greatest good to come out. And so having that intentionality creates ripple effects. And it's not causality. It's not like, hey, I'm going to do this so that happens. No, it's creating that environment. It's like a garden. Like you go plant a garden, you can plant seeds, but I can't make the garden grow. I can't pull the plant up from the ground and say, you're going to grow faster. No, but if I create the optimal conditions, it creates an opportunity for it to grow. And so that's in the physical environment, what I'm looking at. The other side of it is internal space. And I didn't know why I grabbed this, but I grabbed this. And are people going to be able to see this or not?
Yeah, yeah, yes.
All right. So I grabbed this
Love that toy.
beautiful, right? This has been this, and I battle with my 6-year-old daughter Penelope, who wants to take this from me, and I'm like, no, I want to use this for my coaching sessions. So I have to get her one. So inner space within me first is also most important. Is what is the space I'm walking in to the session with? If it's like this, it's contracted. It's contracted. My body is tight. My thinking is in overdrive, right? And I'm feeling heavy. I'm feeling maybe self-conscious, wondering if what I say is going to be good enough, or do you already know the answer? And so it's going to be self-reflective. But when I go into breathing or go in for a walk, like it expands, right? And my inner space expands like this, where new ideas can flow in and they can come out. And it helps, and it just creates more space, more openness to with whatever shows up. Without, if it's compressed, it kind of deflects anything that comes up. Nothing can get in, nothing can get out. And so that's what I look at inner space.
And I love how the way you described the physical space with intentionality, it's fertile ground for something to grow. But you also said at the very beginning when you described your physical space, light. I don't know if you use these words. This is how I heard them: light, airy, spacious, inviting, safe. It's this opening up. So your space is an invitation. Just without words, it invites you to relax, open up. And the physical space invites the inner space to do that without words. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. I also, this is going to be so much fun because you said, I don't know why I grabbed that toy. Well, now we know why you grabbed the toy.
Now I do.
We're creating the space for a miracle to occur, for us to reveal coaching magic to the world. One of the things that we created, Mike, in one of our coaching sessions that now I can see it so clearly, we opened this up. I was breathing, I was relaxed, and I think it was something that came in through you, Mike. You said, what if you could paint, because I'm an artist, what if you could paint your coaching tools? And it was this possibility that came into that space. And then, as you said, we get so tight and constricted right here. Check this out. I'm blowing my own mind, yours, and everybody listening to this podcast. Here's one, here's one of the coaching tools I've created, and it's on one of my paintings. We did it. We did it,
Ah,
Mike.
I
It's
love it.
called Loose Your Mind. And it's kind of funny because people are like, oh, that's spelled wrong. It's lose your mind. No, I do it on purpose because I like to be funny. It's loose your mind. We just got to loosen it up. Just loosen it up a little. And what happens when we loosen it up? We drop into our hearts or into our guts, into our deeper intuition. But I painted that.
I love that. And I love that you wrote loose your mind because it helps me to slow down and say immediately in my mind, it's like, no, lose your mind. Wait, no, wait a minute. No, wait, slow down. It's loose your mind.
Just loosen it up. I thank you. I love that you love this because it's just loosen it up a little bit, slow it down. Uh, the other thing I really love about this is there are some there are some paths, some I don't even know what to call them, some theories, some practices where I have heard some practitioners, some coaches saying, you got to get out of your mind. You got to get out of that thing. And this beautiful thing up here is beautiful. I have been in spaces where I have shamed this and said, I got to shut down my mind. If I can just turn my brain off for a minute, these spaces that are very either or, very extreme. So loose your mind is like, we're just loosening it up a little bit. We can still use it. It's here for beauty. It's here to create miracles. It's just not the only thing that I'm going to do is go after this problem or this creation with just this. It's this too. And
Yes,
you helped me unfold into that. So thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I have more inquiries, more
Great.
curiosities.
Let's
I
do
have
it.
more curiosities. Um, Part of your process, and again, this was just my experience with your process. You sometimes I talk to people who will call me and say, "Hey, I heard that Mike Kotsis was your coach. Like, what's it like?" And I will share with them my experience, but I often say, I don't know what your experience is going to be like because I get the sense that what Mike created for me and what we created together for my unfolding was very unique from what you create for and with other people. So could you let us see behind the curtain? Is that true? Or is that just me experiencing you in a way that I feel you're very unique?
Yeah, it's a great observation. It is true. It's different for me. I'll tell you that. Like my experience is different with every person I work with. It is as I loose my mind. We'll use your painting as I loose my mind, right? Because my mind comes up with ways that I think it should go, and the more that I loose it, it shows up differently because every human being has a unique life experience. And they have different challenges, different opportunities. They have different things that matter to them. And the way that our sessions go show up differently every single time. Now, while there's some similar themes, the way that it occurs, I never know. And that you tell that to the Mike of 10 years ago, you would just my mind would explode. It's like, what do you mean? I don't have control over that. Um, and yeah, it does show up very differently. And there's no two sessions that have been the same with the same person or different people. And it's fun for me. It's fun for me. I learn just as much in those sessions because when we create that space externally and internally, spirit flows through both of us. And we're open and receptive. They're like, oh, wow, I didn't know I was going to say that. I didn't know they were going to say that. And we both have insights. And sometimes we're both writing down notes.
Yes, yes, yes. I, I'm so, it's so lovely to hear you share that you are learning and growing at the same time. Sometimes in coaching, especially in the beginning stages, and I'm reflecting on my own beginning stages, I really felt like I had to be the leader, be the one that knew what was going on, be ahead of my clients. That. And just even as I say those three things, I sensed my shoulders going like this. And there's an exercise we do in Coaching Magic, where I talk about atoms and elements and the electrons on the outer layer. And when I think it's atoms, and when two atoms are coming together, they can share electrons, and they change each other, and they change the composition of what they look like out in the world. You know, if you have two of these and one of these, it looks different in the world. And in order to make that chemical reaction not work, you can create a way for that to not work. So bringing it back to the coaching example, the coach probably really could put a big barrier in between them and say, I will not be changed by this experience. And it takes a ton of energy. But if we just let it flow, the coach too is changed by the experience. And I have the sense that that's how it was always meant to be. We change each other.
Yeah,
We change each other.
we do. Absolutely. Very well put. We do change each other. And that's, and I believe for me, what I experienced, so this shirt represents even something deeper, right? So this masterpiece and always under construction, like we said before, if I'm focused on my mind, I'm always looking for under construction. I've always been growth oriented, and I'm always looking for things to fix or improve or make more efficient, right, in my life. But what I didn't see for the longest time is the first word,
Mm.
masterpiece. Now I saw it like, oh yeah, okay, I get it, masterpiece. Like that's nice. That's not me. And it was that very thought in my mind that was being dismissive of who I truly am. Right? When I slow down and I acknowledge both, right? Because like as you said, we need our mind. We're blessed with one. I just don't need to lead and control my entire life with my mind, right? The more that I harmonize my head and my heart is recognizing the beauty that I already am right now, and knowing I'm never done. Like I'm not trying to get somewhere, but I'm never done learning and growing. And that combination of that two for me is what I seek in every conversation that I have. And most of the time, my greatest growth and learning, Jill, comes from within the four walls of my own home.
Yes,
It does within the four walls of
I'm
my own
sure.
home, with my relationships with my wife Jill and my four children, and now our new puppy Percy. We got a new puppy.
Yay. This this what you just revealed to us. So sometimes in coaching on the Coaching Magic podcast, we take a time out. We go time out and we say, look what Mike just did. There was something that was hiding in plain sight for him, this masterpiece word. I'm getting the sense of he knew it in theory. He knew the information. He's like, yes, of course. We're all masterpiece. Yes, of course. We're all magic. I'm magic, you're magic. You're a masterpiece, I'm a masterpiece. Yes, of course. We know that. And now let's get on to the under construction part. And he knew it in theory, but over time, he's starting to embody it and feel it and pay more attention to it and slow down with it. So thank you for that masterclass from a masterful coach, from a masterful coach he is still unfolding. He is still creating. He is always under construction, but he's really embracing this masterpiece part. Thank you. Thank you for showing us. That was the timeout. We like to point things out. I think it's because I, we always create what we need. When I see something and experience something, the way that I learn it is I stop and I observe it. And then I observe it
Yeah.
from this angle and I observe it from this angle. I'm like, oh, what does it look like from down here and up here? So we like the timeouts.
Beautiful.
Thank you for that master class in embodying masterpiece.
That's my life's journey.
Okay, speaking about life's journey, is there something that you call yourself something out there in the sometimes I call it the muggle world. Out there in the muggle world, on your website, do you say, hi, I'm Mike Kotsis. I am a blah, blah, blah. Is there something you call yourself?
Not quite in that way, but what I refer to the work I do is freedom coaching.
Freedom coaching.
So freedom coaching, and I call it the name of my business is Created Freedom.
Oh, wait, whoa, okay, there's something good in there. Created freedom. Why not create your own freedom or creating freedom? And there's some reason you said created. What is it? Will you reveal it for us?
Yeah, because it's already done. Created freedom. We are already free as a possibility. Freedom is not something to get more of or to seek or fight. It's not out there. It's not, I'm not going to get more freedom out there into the future, right? So the idea is that recognizing we are powerful creators, every human being. And where we focus our creation energy and our awareness is what grows, right? So if we focus on where am I already free, that's what expands. That's this ball right here, right? So this is what expands, right? Versus if I am creating or want to create freedom, then what actually happens is the inverse, is that I am creating from lack. I'm creating from not enough. I don't have this, so I want to get out there. So I don't have enough money in my bank balance, so I need to go out there, and I'm creating from not having enough or a lack. But if I come from the place that the masterpiece in knowing that I am already free, and yes, I can have an intention and move in a direction, but the place that I come from is more important than where I'm going. That's what created freedom means to me.
Thank you for that because I knew it and now I get to remember it. We are going to wrap this up soon, but I also have a game I'd like to play.
Cool.
I
Let's
love
play.
your eyebrows were the best. I'm like, I have a game I'd like to play. He's like, oh, all at once I saw it was curious and like, let's go. So here's what we do sometimes on Coaching Magic. I take a bunch of these cards. It's called Sweet Ass Affirmations. I've got lots of decks, but this is the one I'm playing with. It's fun. And I pull a card, and then you say what it means to you, and then I say what it means to me. That's what we do most of the time. But because I change the rules all the time, this morning as I was preparing for this, I got the cards out of the box and I set them right there, and there was a card that was on top. And it happens to be our card. So are you ready?
Yeah.
I didn't
What's our
pull it
card?
out. It was
What's our
already
card?
there waiting for us, just like our freedom is already there. I didn't have to go find it. It was just there. I love it. Okay, here it is. Here
Love
it
your
is.
excitement around it.
May the sacredness of my work bring healing, light, and renewal to all. May the sacredness of my work bring healing, light, and renewal to all. And when I saw the word sacred, I knew it was our card, because you call your space, your coaching space in your home, your sacred space. So that's how I knew it was our card. What is it? What's coming up for you with this beautiful card?
The sacredness of our space. What this brings up for me, Jill, it is a beautiful card. What it brings up for me is that the more that I honor myself, the more I heal, the more I can be that gift of healing for anybody that I'm with. And it's not a doing, it's a being. I can be that place for me first. There is no way others cannot heal that I'm with.
What a beautiful declaration. Thank you. I, I, I feel in my bones that is your truth. Okay,
And
here's
for
what.
you?
Yep, for me, may the sacredness of my work bring healing, light, and renewal to all. Um, Initially, I knew this was our card and I set it aside. So I didn't play the game before you because I like to play the game. And just as I read it here on the podcast, here's a story, a memory dropped into my mind of a healing moment that I had. My son Tyler was in the hospital, and I was praying and focusing and sending him my energy and my love and my intention, and it felt too heavy. It actually felt too heavy. It was too forceful. It was too, and my magic and my energy and my coaching works when it's unattached to the outcome and it flows and I focus on the love. So here's what I did. Instead of just focusing on Tyler and his healing, I focused on Tyler and saw him in his joy and in his abundance. I saw him memorizing and reciting pi. I saw him solving Rubik's cubes. I saw him being so loving and kind and generous to people. I saw him playing the guitar. So I felt and experienced him I felt what he feels like when he feels whole and complete. And that was my sacred work. May the sacredness of my work bring healing, light, and renewal to all. And that memory came to me as I read this card.
That is beautiful. That is so beautiful.
I would like to end with one last curiosity, and I could go on forever. There's a phrase that it's possible that you learned this about the same time I did. I think I was introduced to it in the Steve Chandler world. And then I have riffed on it. I've played with it, so I might not say it exactly how you heard it, but that's really cool. It all comes to us in different ways. And it's coaches need coaches. And great coaches, I'll go sacred coaches, healing coaches, light coaches, renewal coaches, whatever that is, want coaching. So it's the need to the want. Can you share maybe your experience of when a coach maybe comes to you and they think they need coaching, maybe to where something transitions into them to where they're like, I want coaching. Where is that shift that you've noticed?
Yeah, yeah. So from the need to want, I've noticed that where something isn't working the way they're wanting it to work in their life. Um, one of my clients that comes to mind that had a past traumatic experience in their business, and when, it was kind of continually haunting her. And so that was the beginning of our relationship. It's like, why is this still haunting me as I'm growing my business, being with my family, and living life and moving out to a new place that we want to create? But it was all just really heavy and stuck. And it moved. So there was a need. There was a need of like, hey, I want to fix this. I want to fix this. I want to resolve this. But the more that we loosened up around it, and the more that we loosened up around her, and she began to see the beauty of herself underneath the stories of the past that was always true, she began to feel lighter. And she began to, like, it didn't change the past, it didn't change what had happened. Like, we still acknowledge that. And she's able to be with her own past in a new way that she could have never have imagined. And now she's creating a loving presence with her family, with her teams that she's working with, and in every interaction that she's coming across. She's coming out at a different discernment, that already knowing it. So as that has shifted, as she's lightened up around her own self and forgiven herself through deep self-forgiveness and move forward, she began to recognize the powerful creator that she is. And that shift had created into the wanting to have coaching and the wanting to see, like, okay, what is possible? This is what I thought was possible, this size. Well, all of a sudden, it's like stretching that sphere even bigger of what do I want to create? And I don't need it to be created, but she shifted into that whole different aspect. And so it starts with some pain sometimes in some way. It doesn't need to be trauma, but it can be, anything from business isn't working the way I want it to work. My family's not working the way I want it to work. I'm not present. My bank balance is not where I want. By the way, financial fears is prevalent among almost everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That there's a big financial fear that creates the scarcity mindset. The more that we loosen up around that and not use that to define us, it moves into a want and like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize I could create beyond that. And why I'm saying this, because I've experienced the very same thing with my own coaches and working with Steve Chandler, Steve Hardison, have been just monumentally impactful in my life.
Wow, I'm seeing in that story that shift from want to need. I'm seeing in there, and you said it a couple of times, which is beautiful because that's how I learn when I see it again from all different perspectives. This this core piece to coaching could be getting just loosening it up, loosening the knot. If we think about a knot that's all tied together, like, like the lights at Christmas time, you get them out. You're like, I swear I put these away in a nice, tidy wrapping, but they're all tight. What do I sit there? I sit on the floor and I just loosen up that knot. I don't keep pulling on it. It makes it worse. I'm wondering if that's part of why coaching is so magical. Coaches just loosen up that knot.
They
And it
skip.
transitions us from needs into creation, seeing what we are already a part of, seeing what is already created. We are there. The freedom is there because it's expanded and we can see it. Oh my gosh. So much coaching magic revealed today from you, Mike Kotsis. Thank you so much. I am forever grateful for our time. I'm forever grateful for your continued um, presence in my life, for the times when you show up for me when you didn't even know I needed, or when I didn't even know I needed you. And then I turn around and I'm like, oh, he was always there with his hand on my back. I am continually grateful. And it all started with holding hands and skipping.
That it did.
Talk about created.
Absolutely.
I love it. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you
thank
so
you, Jill. This has been a pleasure. It's been an absolute blast and fun. And I love the way that we didn't have pre-time to talk about this. As soon as we got in, you're like, nope, I'm not going to say anything. Let's just hit record and go. And let it unfold as it unfolds. And
That's
I
right.
really admire that about you in the way that you lead, the way that you show up, and the way that you have just such a playful, fun spirit of seeing what's surfacing in front of you.
Thank you. It is continually unfolding.
That it is.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you. Thank you for the time.
Thank you for playing with me today in the land of coaching magic. If you want more magic, I invite you to explore www.jillyoung.com. This is where you can see all the shenanigans I've created for you to expand your world of coaching. See you there. And remember, you are magic.